All right, you guys, so we're at the last lesson in our unit already. It's a short unit. Today we're talking about weathering and erosion. So your essential question today is, how do rock and earth material break? We have sand and dust and dirt all over. Where did it come from? How did it get there? How does it break off of whatever bigger object it came from? What happens to these broken pieces of rock and earth material? So today you're defining weathering and erosion so that you can describe how these things will impact an object and how will it continue to impact an object's future. You'll know that you got it if you can draw conclusions about weathering and erosion and how it affected an area just by looking at a picture. So let's talk about how we're going to get through this today. You've got your introduction where you're watching this video. Make sure you check out my teacher instructional video as well as your Classic Science notebook. Now, one thing that I also want to point out is pretty soon you're going to have a TGA. It's going to be due very, very soon, next week. So here's a page for you to make sure that you explore today that encourages you to go over to your TGA and begin working on it so that way you're not doing it at the last minute, okay? Then you've got this instructional video here that will help you learn the difference between weathering, erosion, and deposition, okay? Now, we don't talk a lot about deposition through the lesson, so just as a quick recap for you here, deposition is when things deposit, settle down. So weathering is when they break, erosion is when they move, and then when they get to where they're going, when the wind stops carrying them, when the water stops carrying them, when they finally settle down, we call that deposition, okay? So make sure that you check out all of the resources that are here for you. Everything is put in here intentionally so that you can be successful in your lesson. Now, as always, you've got that class kick notebook, so go over there. And then here's where you're going to have a little bit of reflection about what you've learned. So using your work from the Weathering in Action investigation, I want you to describe an artifact, any artifact, and how weathering has impacted it to this point and how it will impact it in its future, okay? Then I want you to answer these multiple choice questions. Remember that this is part 1 of 2, so if you click on to the next page, take a look at the images here. What differences do you see in them? This is the same river. What differences do you see? I want you to explain what happened to this river between the time of 1985 and 2013 to result in these changes. Okay, so this is where you're going to really use your knowledge of weathering, erosion, and deposition to explain what happened to this river. Okay, if you have any questions, you guys reach out and good luck.